So, you're an entrepreneur. You know that feeling, right? Drowning in advice? Well, Stephen Wood, a business consultant who's been in the trenches for over 2 decades, has written a whole library to help out. We're talking 10 books and 16 guides. It's an absolute goldmine of information. But, it also creates a pretty common problem for anyone just starting out.
You've got the passion, the drive, the big idea, but now you're staring at this mountain of books, all promising wisdom. It's so easy to feel completely lost. How do you find a clear path through all that? Well, don't worry. We've gone through it all for you, and we've distilled Stephen Wood's work into a clear three-stage roadmap designed specifically for new founders.
All right, so here's the first, and honestly, the most critical shift in thinking you need to make. This journey, it's not really about building a business first. Nope, it's about building the founder. Because the entire thing rests on the person in charge, on you.
And that's really the heart of this entire roadmap. Before you even think about customers, processes, or profits, you have to get laser focused on the single most critical component of your entire business, you. It's simple, really. Your company's growth is going to be directly tied to your personal growth.
Okay, so if you've got to build yourself first, where in the world do you start? Well, the roadmap points to one book to begin with, Success Know-How. Think of this as the personal bedrock, the solid foundation that everything else is going to be built on.
This quote just nails the whole philosophy, doesn't it? It's not about getting everything perfect from day one. It's all about being in a constant loop of self-awareness, learning, and growing. Your path as a founder is never going to be a straight line. It's about collecting experiences that make you stronger and more capable.
And this is where it gets super practical. Success Know-How isn't filled with a bunch of abstract theories. It's about building a real toolkit of essential skills. I mean, look at this list. These are the fundamentals. Can you actually sell your vision? Can you manage your time? Do you get the numbers? Mastering these things is your first huge win as a founder. So the big idea here is that by focusing on you first, you're not delaying your business. You're actually building the launch pad for it. Once you're personally solid, then you can start building the business structure on top of that. So let's see what that looks like. All right, with that strong personal foundation in place, you're ready to be the architect. The roadmap introduces the 4 ACEs as the actual blueprint for building a business that's meant to last, not just fizzle out. The concept here is refreshingly simple. In business, it's kind of like a card game. You just can't win without the high cards. Stephen Wood points out 4 of these ACEs that are totally non-negotiable. Getting them right is the difference between building a house of cards and a fortress. And here they are. Just look at the logic here. It all kicks off with customers. Obviously, without them, you have nothing. Then comes delivery. You absolutely have to provide what you promised. Next step is process, which is all about making that delivery efficient and awesome. And finally, you protect what makes you unique with intellectual property. You see how each one builds right on top of the last? This slide really just lays out the stakes in black and white, doesn't it? On the left, you've got a business that's always in crisis mode, just trying to survive. No sales, a bad reputation, wasted money, and just competing on price. Now look at the right. That's a business that's built to last. It's thriving on strong relationships, quality, efficiency, and a unique place in the market. The difference is just huge. So you've built the founder. You have the framework for the business. You've got a really solid structure. But a perfectly engineered car that has no fuel is just a nice-looking sculpture, right? It's not going anywhere. You need an engine and fuel to drive it forward. And that brings us to the final stage of our roadmap. The engine of any business, its lifeblood, is its ability to generate revenue. So the roadmap points us to the money tree as the guide to mastering sales and marketing. That's the fuel that makes everything else actually work. This quote, this is the core of the whole philosophy in the money tree, and it is such a powerful shift in perspective. It completely redefines what sales is all about. You're not there to convince somebody or pressure them. You're there to understand their problem and offer a valuable solution. You're there to help. And this is where it all clicks together. The 4 ACEs helped you build a business that creates real value. The money tree then shows you how to effectively communicate and sell that value. It turns your well-designed blueprint into a machine that actually makes money. Now this chart, this is a huge reality check. A classic mistake founders make is thinking that everyone is ready to buy their thing right now, but the data tells a very different story. Only a tiny slice, like 3 to 4%, are actually in that buy now mode. This is exactly why a generic, one-size-fits-all sales pitch usually falls flat. You need a system to nurture the other 60+% who could become your customers down the line. And that is the ultimate goal when you're mastering your growth.
You stop hunting for single transactions and you start cultivating a system, a money tree, if you will, that nurtures relationships over time and produces a steady, predictable, and sustainable flow of business.
So we've walked through the 3 stages, each tied to a key book. Master yourself with success know-how, master your business with the 4 Aces, and master your growth with the money tree. Now comes the most important part. What do you do with all this? Now, it's really crucial to understand this isn't some strict, rigid formula you have to follow. Think of it more like a diagnostic tool. It's a map that helps you figure out exactly where you are right now and then shows you the clearest path forward. Your first step depends entirely on where your biggest need is. So just take a second and really reflect on your own situation. Where's the biggest bottleneck for you right now? Is it your personal skills, your resilience, the founder part? Or is your business kind of a mess with no clear processes, the blueprint? Or maybe you have an amazing product, but you just struggle with sales, the growth engine? Be honest with yourself. Because figuring out that core challenge, that's your starting line. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Based on everything you've just heard, what is the single most important first step you can take right now to start building your own roaring success?